We are now joined by Texas A&M head coach Joni Taylor and student athletes Aaliyah Patty and Janiah Barker. We will begin with questions for the student athletes. If you could please raise your hand, we will bring you a microphone, and please identify yourself with your name and affiliation. Here in the front.
Thank you. For Janiah, can you speak, first of all, congrats on the double-double. Can you speak a little bit to what went well tonight? And just, it seems like you always know what to do at the right time. And can you talk more about your intuition on the court?
I would just say, I said before going into this game, we watched a lot of film. I know it was a quick turnaround, but we was watching film, making sure that we knew what was to do. I would say my coaches and my teammates really are the ones who just have the confidence in me to do and trust in me to do what I need to do. So I would say my intuition goes out to them and watching film and just studying.
Go right here in the middle.
Mac Post from Toccoa, Georgia, to you student athletes. The transition, obviously, y'all were very, very successful in high school. The transition to Division I, and even more so, to the Southeastern Conference, just the best in the nation, because it does mean just a little bit more. Tell us about your transition from your high school being so successful to the SEC.
I would say it's definitely something that you can't prepare for. You try to prepare to come into college before you get to college, but it's nothing you can do. That first week I was here, I was definitely like, is this something that I want to do? Because it's something that's so hard, and especially playing in this conference against the people that we play against every day in and day out, it's hard. And advice I would give is just, go to a school that you know that you'll be welcome, have a family atmosphere, and, things of that sort.
Here in the front.
So another question for Janiah. You are the only high major freshman in the country with a 4% block rate, 2% steal rate. Can you just talk about your ability to create havoc on the defensive end?
What does that mean?
Talk about just your instincts defensively and, how you can affect the game on the defensive end.
I would just say my intuition, probably. Just trying to, know when the pass is coming, or, like I said, watching film. One thing that me and Joni, when we watched film, she was telling me, she was like, if somebody's ever coming to set a down screen on you, just know that person's probably going up to get the ball. So just knowing the basketball stuff like that, and just, like I said, studying the game and just knowing when that person's going to jump or knowing that person's going to pass the ball.
We'll go in the front row on the left.
Aaliyah, you're a fifth-year senior, and I know you guys probably be rather playing again tomorrow, but to do what you guys did this week, what did it mean to you to be able to make some noise here this week in your final year?
It means a lot. Just being able to go out there and fight with my teammates. Sorry. This was a really special team. I think this year we were all really close, and we all just, for one, wanted to fight for each other. So that was really the main thing. And I think we shocked a lot of people the past two games. I don't think tonight was our night, and, that happens. But I think the past two games we really came out and we played for each other. We played for Joni. We played for the coaches. And it just was really special to be out there and just share those moments with my teammates for the last few times.
In the front.
Can y'all just speak to the mental challenge of this year? Not always getting the wins that you wanted, and just how you continued to overcome that, and then getting an end like this.
I think mental toughness is, I will say this for everyone coming into this league, into any league, mental toughness is going to be the number one thing you have to have. There's games where you're going to be high, there's games where you're going to be low, and just fighting through those highs and lows is really going to make you a great player. And I think the season that we went through, just trying to play game to game, quarter to quarter, possession to possession, I think we learned how to be mentally tough. And I think the past two games that showed, when we were down, we fought back. We stayed together. We stayed mentally tough through those hard moments. And I think that like I said earlier, mental toughness is just really key to being a great player.
Front row on the right.
So, Janiah, there were some moments today where you just were extremely comfortable in the mid-range. Can you just talk about just how you can create your own shot, how you can create space in the mid-range with your shot?
I think me being at a 6'4" is a disadvantage for a lot of things, but just being able to raise over the defenders and get a good look at the goal before I shoot the shot, I'll say that's something that it is.
Front row.
Aaliyah, there's a lot of young players on this team. Freshmen like Janiah, Sydney had great games this week. What do you feel like that says about the future of this program, where this team could be in a few years?
I wish y'all could have heard what Joni just told us in the locker room, but I know that this program is going to be something special in the next few years. And like you said, we have some great freshmen, some young players who really stepped up this year. And Janiah, Sydney, Maya Petticord, just really excited to see what they do here. I think they're going to be really great players. I think they showed up for us this year, and I think starting early is really good for players in the future. Starting as a freshman, coming in as a freshman, playing all those minutes, it puts you in the position to be a great player in the future. So I think as long as they keep putting the work in and Joni doing what she does, she's a great coach, and I'm really excited to see what she does for this program.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you, ladies. You can be dismissed. We'll now take questions for Coach Taylor. Please raise your hand and we will bring a microphone to you. In the back, Pete.
Hey, Joni, what did you learn about yourself and this team in the year that you guys just went through?
Well, I think the first thing is, trusting our instincts. We knew when we came and got this team that it was going to be a process. It's the reason why our motto for the year is becoming. We knew that this year we weren't going to arrive at any final destination. And so from the very beginning, we started planting seeds about how we're going to measure success. And this is a season of sowing. And then there will be a season of harvest later in the future. But for this year, it's about laying the foundation and every day showing up, being better today than you were yesterday. And so it's honestly back to the things that we always talk about. Building a foundation, trusting the process, and putting people around you who are going to be on the same train with you, going in the right direction, and we're building a bridge as we cross it. So that's who we are, and that's what we started building in this team when we got here. And you can see that. I think over the last 2 days and even moments today, you can see the growth that happened over the year. We've had a lot of challenges, and I'm happy for all of them because that's how you build resilience, that's how you get tougher, and that's how you have to go through things. And so to take a team who none of them have ever experienced playing in this league, whether they're seniors or juniors, they were on the bench last year. So for them to play the minutes they played this year, Patty said it, it's invaluable to them, the ones who are returning, our younger players. And we're going to just keep plugging along. But this was a great way for us to obviously, we didn't end it today the way we wanted to, but what a great way to end our season and for them to have a little bit of reward for all that they went through this year.
All right, here in the front.
Aaliyah said she wishes we could hear what you said in the locker room. Would you be able to share a little bit of what you were telling your team and what was your message to the young core moving forward about just how the potential that they have?
How did I know you were going to ask me that? What I told them was, we've got to continue to be consistent, right? There was a team that showed up Wednesday, Thursday, and there's a team that showed up today. And which team are we? And that's part of our youth. We've got to continue to put games together and put quarters together. And then I told them the future is going to be really bright here. And we need to make sure that everybody that's returning is on that same page because we don't want to play again on Wednesday. We don't want to have another year where we only have 2 wins in conference play. That's not why we came to Texas A&M, and that's not why you came here. That's not why you're in the Southeastern Conference. So this time that you have off now, obviously hit the books and get back to school and make sure that our academics are in order and really evaluate yourself and how much you're committed to this because this train, again, is moving in one direction, and everybody needs to be moving that way and making sure that we understand that this spring, this summer, It's going to be challenging. You know, we've got to continue to make strides. And so I think what we have to continue to put in place for our players is be proud of what we have done. We grew a lot this year, but even in that growing, we've got a long way to go. And so I just want to make sure that they don't think that we have arrived anywhere, because there's still a ton of work to do in College Station.
Here in the middle.
Coach Joni, the Southeastern Conference is tough enough as it is. From 1 through 14. I'll take our number 14 team and line up against anybody in the country, maybe except the top 2 or 3. With Oklahoma and Texas coming in, does it get any tougher?
Of course, Mac, it's good to see you, first of all. Texas and Oklahoma are both great programs, great tradition. They're gonna make it even tougher. We've got 16 teams now. And so, again, I think that what they bring to this league, their style of play, is similar to what we're used to. But again, that's just 2 more teams that you know you're going to have to go battle with every single night. But it's why you come to this league, all right? If you're a competitor at all and have any blood flowing in your veins, you want to come to the Southeastern Conference, because it is the best. And I stand by that, and I've always said that. I've been in this league for a really long time as a player, as an assistant coach, and as a head coach, and there's no other place you want to come.
Any other questions for Coach Taylor? Pete in the back.
Joni, if you don't mind, I have a couple of off the court, bigger picture questions. One, a couple of years ago with Sedona Price's video, it seems like since then attention on the game has grown, and the level of attention and people watching women's basketball has grown as well. How sustainable do you think that is going forward with a new contract, TV contract ahead, to just kind of keep things going and making this part of this sport kind of on a level with some of the other bigger college athletic sports?
Well, what Sedona did the year, I call it the year of the bubble, right, when we were all in San Antonio, a lot of things were exposed, and I think that it shined a light on just the disparity that there is, and especially now that we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX this year, what a great time to continue talking about gender equity. We've come a long way, but again, we're nowhere close to where we need to be. In terms of being a guardian of the game and what women's basketball is going to look like, yes, we can. Can we sustain it? Absolutely. Have you seen the players that play women's basketball at our level? Not only in the Southeastern Conference, but the other, if I get to naming players, right, the future is bright, from our WNBA players to our college players who are about to be pros. So what we have to do, what the media has to do, what coaches have to do is continue to put our student athletes in a great position, because they are. I don't know if Sedona posts that if it gets the attention it gets. It wasn't us. It was a player who did that. And with NIL and all the opportunities they have, absolutely. They're on the right track and they're fired up about our sport, as they should be. But can it be sustained? Sure. We need to just make sure that we all are putting them in a position to be the ones that are the spokespersons for our sport.
Go one more to Pete, and then we'll go to the front.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the NIL too. Obviously, that's a new dynamic for college athletics, and maybe the chances to be a pro. I know all your players want to be pros, but maybe the chances, given what happened to Brittany overseas, that maybe there's a little reticence. Is there more opportunity for players to decide, hey, I don't mind staying 4 years, 5 years before going pro, because it can be somewhat lucrative to me as well?
I think NIL is a game changer, right? And I think what a great opportunity for them to take advantage of marketing themselves with name, image, and likeness. I think every individual player has to make a different decision on how long they stay and when it's their time to become professional. At the end of the day, everybody cannot be a professional. And so I think it's up to them to know when that time is and the people they have around them to make that decision.
Go to the front for Cora.
Joni, a number that kind of sticks out from the box is the turnovers. How much of that do you feel like was Ole Miss's defense, and was a little bit of that fatigue with your team?
Fatigue, I'm not going to give us that. Ole Miss put pressure on us. They are really good defensively. Yo has them playing at a really, really high level right now. We knew turnovers were going to be a factor. If we were able to limit our turnovers, they thrive on turnovers. It leads to offensive points for them, and they're really, really good in transition. So playing 3 games in 3 days is hard, but that's what it is. So we talked about that from the very beginning. I think more than anything, not having our point guard today played a factor in some of that. Not having KK on the floor, she's our point guard. She gets us settled. And not having her probably had a lot to do with just us not feeling settled on the floor.
We'll take one more front.
Apologies if you were asked this already, but can you just speak about Janiah this game? You know, she gets a double-double, but then throughout her whole year, you know, following you from Georgia, like, what does this kid mean to the program?
Yeah, you know, she's a really special player. You know, Pete asked the question earlier about is it being sustainable. You take a player like Janiah Barker, and she's got the personality to match your game, and that right there sells tickets. And so she's someone who is gracious and humble and has a big personality and is a lot of fun to be around, but wants to win and wants to compete and cares about other people. And when you have that type of combination, and when your best player is your hardest worker, it makes it really, really easy to coach her hard, and to coach the players and the people around her. So again, there's a trust between Janiah and not just me, but our entire staff. We've recruited her since the 7th grade. And obviously when we decided to make the transition to College Station, she didn't flinch. She was like, I'm there. And you know, I've said this before, I could tell Janiah to go stand on top of a building and jump, and she'd say, tell me what time. That's the type of trust that we have with each other. And when you have that with the player, it's just a fun dynamic.
Thank you, Coach.